What if I told you that you could build your own highly customized visual effects software without writing a single line of code? Seriously, no expensive developers, no spending years learning how to program, just plain English. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are going to dive into how a groundbreaking new paradigm called vibe coding, which is powered by Google Flow, is totally democratizing software creation. Specifically, we're going to look at how the source material demonstrates building a custom visual effects generator entirely from scratch. All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine a world where the technical barriers that have historically held us creators back just vanish. You know the struggle, right? In the past, if you wanted a highly specific visual effect, you either had to spend hours hunting down really expensive third-party plugins, or you had to justify a massive learning curve to try and program it yourself. But what if you could literally dream up a custom video resizer or a super specific color shader and actually use it in your workflow that very same day? Well, that's exactly the reality we're stepping into right now. The big idea that makes all of this possible is called vibe coding. Introduced through Google's new Flow tools, vibe coding completely flips the script on how we look at software development. You don't need to open up some intimidating, complex programming terminal anymore. Everyday language is now your programming terminal. It's wild. You simply describe what you want the software to do in plain English, and the AI just builds the functional application for you. Basically, if you can imagine the visual effect, you can generate the tool to create it. Now, what's genuinely amazing is how seamlessly this fits into your actual day-to-day workflow. Because you're not doing this alone. Google introduced the Flow agent, which is this Gemini-powered AI assistant that lives right natively inside your video editor. So first, if you're stuck on ideas, you can just brainstorm with it. Say you want a cinematic cyberpunk lens flare generator. Second, you give it the prompt, and it creates the tool using those plain English instructions. And finally, it actually helps you edit and refine that tool directly in your workspace, so it works perfectly on your footage. The days of leaving your editor to go find tools, yeah, those are over. Okay, moving on to section 2, agents doing the work. Who is actually writing the code? So your Flow agent is actually just one piece of a much larger, completely new ecosystem. Google has dropped a whole slate of specialized AI assistants that are designed to work in parallel alongside you, knocking out complex tasks 24/7. So while the Flow agent helps creative pros build VFX, you've got Anti-Gravity 2.0 tackling the heavy developer coding. Then there's Gemini Spark managing your personal digital life, and Daily Brief acting as your ultimate productivity summarizer every single morning. You're essentially getting a full team of specialists right at your fingertips. To really wrap our heads around how autonomous these agents are, let's look at this example with Anti-Gravity 2.0. This tool used to look like a really complex developer screen, but now it just looks like a simple chat box, kind of like WhatsApp. During testing, a user typed a single sentence: make a Chrome Dino Infinite Runner game that plays itself in a cyber theme, and the AI built the game. But here is the incredible part. When the game hit an error and wouldn't load, the user just typed, "This is not working." The agent then autonomously investigated the problem, tried out a few different approaches, and fixed its own code until the game works perfectly. Literally zero human intervention required. And it's not just about writing code. Gemini Spark takes this autonomy and weaves it deeply into your everyday life. Spark works on your behalf, navigating your whole digital footprint. Because it's integrated with your workspace tools like Gmail and Docs, it can do stuff like monitor your credit card statements for hidden fees. Or, and this is crazy, it can know that your kid has a sports game at 11 a.m., realize you're the one in charge of nut-free snacks this week, and automatically add those items to your Instacart. It just waits for your final payment approval. It does all of this in the cloud, so you don't even need to have your laptop open. So, what does this all mean? Well, here is the crucial takeaway. AI is moving from predicting text to simulating reality. This right here is the underlying thesis of everything we're looking at today. The real breakthrough isn't just that the AI can spit out lines of code or write a nice email. It's that the AI now possesses an actual understanding of the physical world. It can simulate outcomes and act on our behalf in highly complex, real-world scenarios. Let's dive into section 3, from text to reality, the engine powering the assistants. We can see this massive leap really clearly when we compare the old guard to the new tech. Older AI video models generated stuff that looked cool on the surface, sure, but they relied on really rigid prompts and had absolutely zero real world depth or subject matter accuracy. Enter Gemini OmniFlash. This new engine combines literally any input you throw at it: images, audio clips, video footage, text, and generates finished, high quality video that genuinely understands the subject matter. It's not just mashing pixels together, it's actually reasoning about the world. Now, the proof of that reasoning is what's truly mind blowing. From just a single sentence, make a claymation explainer of protein folding, Omni generated a completely accurate scientific video. It created the complex biological narration, and the visuals perfectly matched that narration in real time. There was no script uploaded, no research papers attached, nothing. It pulled entirely from Gemini's built-in real-world knowledge to simulate this complex biological reality. DeepMind's Project Genie takes this reality simulation even further. This model plugs directly into actual Google Street View imagery and lets you reimagine physical spaces as interactive virtual environments. So you can pick the Golden Gate Bridge, apply an ocean world style, and suddenly you're exploring the bridge underwater with schools of fish. Or you can take the Taj Mahal and simulate exactly what it looked like in the 1600s. It is literally rebuilding our physical world inside a virtual space. And why does this matter on a macro scale? Because these simulation capabilities are quite literally saving lives. DeepMind's WeatherNext model, which operates within the Gemini for Science initiative, successfully predicted Hurricane Melissa's Category 5 landfall in Jamaica a full 5 days in advance with an 80% confidence rate. By simulating the real world with this level of accuracy, this tech is aggressively accelerating vital research across climate, biotech, and pharmaceuticals. All right, Section 4, Democratizing Creative Software, a rebuilt digital ecosystem. Let's rapid fire through some massive upgrades to Stitch, which is Google's AI-powered UI design product. You can now see live streaming design renders while the AI works, which means you can steer the design in real time. You can start directly from your existing Figma files instead of a blank canvas. If you don't like a specific button, just use in-place AI rewriting to change that one element without messing up the rest of the layout. You can build native HTML motion animations, and best of all, you can import and sync your entire codebase. Basically, founders can now handle the whole loop of UI design and coding in one single workflow, a total game changer. Next up is Google Pix, which is built on the brilliantly named Nano Banana 2 model. Unlike typical prompt-to-picture generators where the final image is basically baked in, Pix treats every single element in an image as an independently editable object. So you can select a chair way in a background, move it around, resize it, or translate text while perfectly keeping the original font. It acts so much more like a real designer's collaborative canvas. Honestly, this really positions it as a serious potential replacement for tools like Canva. There's also this brilliant leap forward in audio and video control. Flow Music, which is powered by LIA 3 Pro, gives musicians just unprecedented control. You can isolate and edit highly specific audio stems, like just the chorus or a single guitar line. You can even swap out a massive beat drop without having to redo the vocal track at all. On the video side, Ask YouTube is phenomenal. Instead of typing in clunky keywords, you just use conversational search. You ask a full question, and YouTube doesn't just hand you a list of videos. It gives you a structured answer and jumps you directly to the exact timestamp in a video where that answer is discussed. Think of the time that's going to save. Of course, this entire new ecosystem isn't just limited to software. Google and Samsung just unveiled a massive hardware leap: intelligent smart glasses powered by the unified Android XR operating system. These glasses give you audio assistance and visual overlays directly in front of your eyes. You can pull up restaurant reviews just by looking at a building, get turn-by-turn navigation as you walk, and manage your calls. It really proves that the future of this AI ecosystem literally lives right on your face, definitely setting up a major rivalry with Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses. Finally, Section 5, the future of AI. The scale of the shift. Now, as generative AI gets this incredibly powerful, you're probably wondering about safety and transparency, right? Well, transparency is scaling right alongside it. Google's Synthide has actually applied an invisible watermark to over 100 billion media files across the internet. They're building content credentials directly into Gemini, search in Chrome. This lets you instantly distinguish whether an image's origin was AI or if it was shot on a real camera and just edited later. The standard is becoming universal, and it's already been adopted by major players like OpenAI and 11 Labs. And what is driving all of this unbelievable innovation? It's the new Gemini 3.5 Flash model. This is the foundational engine running underneath almost every single tool we've talked about today. It boasts 4 times faster output tokens and operates at roughly a third of the cost of the previous 3.1 Pro model. It's faster, it's vastly cheaper, and it's absolutely crushing almost every multimodal benchmark out there. To really cement this staggering reality of this shift, I want you to consider this number: $190 billion. To put that into perspective, that is Google's capital expenditure this year alone. They are not just tacking on AI features as some cute afterthought. They are fundamentally rebuilding every single surface they own. Search, Workspace, Android, hardware, Chrome, YouTube, with this powerful AI running natively underneath the whole shebang. The sheer scale of it is almost hard to comprehend. Which brings us all the way back to your own workflow. We've seen how Google is leveraging AI to simulate reality, predict the weather, and completely run our digital lives. But for you, the creator, the absolute most immediate impact is the democratization of your creative software. By removing that massive technical barrier of coding, you are no longer limited by whatever tools just happen to be available on the market right now. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Now that you literally have the power to speak custom software into existence, what specific visual effects tool are you going to vibe code first? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.